Welcome to the F1 in Schools 2021 Regional Finals for the primary class competition Top 10 Race-Off. My name's Mark, I'm your host for today. I'm joined by Nelson Vale.
Thank you, Mark.
Welcome, Nelson.
Hello, everyone.
Let's find out what's coming up on the show today. Well, we're going to meet the contenders. Of course, we met all the teams in the previous shows now, so we saw them racing head to head. This is now a show for the top 10 teams on the leaderboard of those times set on track. We're going to have a quick word from one of our F1 in Schools supporters, one of our STEM professionals, just to find out what goes on in the life of a STEM professional. And then, the big one, Nels, the one you've been looking forward to, the racing time. Absolutely. We're joined in the studio again by the wonderful Molly and Louise. Girls, hello, welcome back. Excited to be here again?
Very, yeah.
So excited to see the cars race again.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see, isn't it? If the cars are still as kind of sturdy as they were in the racing, if they've managed to kind of keep hold of their integrity. Maybe some quicker times today, do you think?
Could be anyone's game, honestly.
Well, let's find out. Absolutely. Well,
Pressure is on.
the pressure is absolutely on, Nelson. Shall we meet the teams and see who the contenders are for the top 10 race-off? I think let's do it. So, dropping in on the grid today, we've got, representing the south and the west, we've got Shadow Demons and Wind Wolves. Representing London, we've got Start to Finish. Representing the Isle of Wight, we've got Drifting Donuts, Red Thunder, Fire Phoenix, and the Zappatrons, and representing Wales, Red Lightning, Blue Dart, and Mighty Motors. Wow, exciting stuff. So Nels, we've gathered the top 10 contenders together for the race-off. Do you want to just explain a little bit about what this competition is for today? This isn't for points, is it?
No, it's important to clarify that in the previous shows, all teams were receiving points for racing. So all teams had the opportunity to race 4 times, 2 in each lane, remember guys? And the average of those races is going to define the fastest compliant car, and by compliant I mean the car that doesn't have a performance failure, because remember, you may have the fastest car, but you need to make sure that, and our judges are going to make sure of that they comply with all of the performance failures.
Sure, so if they break a single performance regulation, they're not eligible for the fastest car in the region, but it hasn't stopped them progressing through to our top 10 race-off today, has it?
That's it. So while for the award of the fastest car in each region, failing a performance regulation is a no-no, but for today, for this race-off, it's all on the table.
No holds barred. But remember everybody, Nelson, the minimum weight for a car in the primary class is 40 grams. We've made sure that all the cars comply with that minimum weight, haven't we?
Yes, so all the cars are in at least the minimum. So I'm really excited to see the performance and to see if the teams are going to actually improve their times.
Yeah, this is the big one today, just to see who is the quickest car in the UK. Now, of course, F1 in Schools around the UK can only operate with the support and the sort of inspiration of some incredible individuals and companies. We caught up with one of our regional coordinators to find out what life is like as a STEM professional.
So my name is Leanne Mee. I run my own company called the STEM Workshop. So I, day to day, run workshops that connect learning from science, technology, engineering and maths. My job really is to inspire and teach anybody that wants to be inspired about STEM. So my day-to-day life will involve running workshops. So today I've just run a workshop with a group of Year 10s, and that's linked their learning to mechanical engineering and pneumatics. Tomorrow I'm working with a primary teacher and I'm inspiring her about STEM to help her deliver her science, technology, engineering and maths curriculum in her primary school. And then the next day I might be working with a group of primary children. So every day I work with a different group of people to help inspire as many people as possible to go into careers across STEM. I've been supporting F1 in Schools for a number of years. So previously in the secondary school that I worked, I used to run the regional hub for the primary schools, and I've also been involved with the secondary challenge as well. So now in my role, I work within Shropshire. So when I set up my company in 2017, I think it was, I started a regional hub in Shropshire here at the Marches Centre of Manufacturing and Technology. And I train primary teachers how to get involved in the challenge and get them kick-started. And at the moment, we're working with about 9 primary schools, and we're doing the same with secondary school as well. So it's only recently that we've started the hub in Shropshire to try and get schools across Shropshire involved, right from primary right through to secondary. Advice I'd give to you is get involved in any STEM related activity in your local area, but also get involved in lots of voluntary experience. So the students I've worked with recently that really impressed me are the students that not only do my activities, but the students that also get involved in their local Girl Guiding group or the Scouts or the National Citizenship Service. So they've got more interest just, above and beyond engineering. Awesome, engaging and inspirational. Enjoy it and embrace every experience, and do not be afraid if things go wrong, because part of being an engineer is learning to be resilient and problem solve, and things will go wrong, but what we need to do is think about how we can fix that problem. But yeah, enjoy it, and if you don't win, I know we all say it's taking part that counts, but actually there are lots of opportunities to come away with a prize. We've had lots of teams that have not won the overall prize, but they have come away with something and some form of recognition for the skills that they've demonstrated.
Thank you for that, and great to hear from Leanne there. A really inspirational kind of pitch from one of our regional coordinators. Nels, just take us back a few years, because you used to run the competition in all of Portugal. So just give us a little word and a bit of insight into the sort of importance of people like Leanne around the country helping support the competition.
Well, it's really important to have dedicated coordinators throughout the country or the region to be able to support these teams. Of course, the teams are supported in school by their teacher, but then the teacher also has questions that need some answers. And it's also the access to the equipment, access to that professional in the industry that can act as a mentor, and the coordinator can help with all of this, with the access to the equipment, putting them in contact with a mentor, and actually just helping them to explain the fine details of the competition. But let me just say that those final words from Rianne, just saying that we'll learn with our mistakes, and that's exactly it. Everyone fails, but to learn with the failures and with the mistakes, guys, we can always improve.
Absolutely, the first step to success is failure, as quite often we've heard. Lovely, thank you for that, Nelson. I think we've probably reached that point in the show, Nels, where you usually slap the table and get all excited, because it is time, I think, looking out on the track. Yeah, the guys seem to be ready there with our first pair of teams. We are going to go racing just before we meet the first pair of teams and throw to the tech pad with Louise. Now, just remind us quickly of the race format for the top 10 race-off. It's not quite as long-winded as yesterday, is it? It's quite short and snappy.
No, exactly. So we have the top 10 teams with the fastest times, and we're going to have the bottom ones racing first. So we're going to have seed number 10 against seed number 9, and then seed number 8 against seed number 7, and until we reach seed number 2 against seed number 1.
So we're going to work up from the times set during the regional finals and see if those times can be replicated. And of course, we're not doing all 4 races this time, are we?
No, we're just going to do 2 races, so each car will be able to race once in each of the lanes.
Cool. So it's real head-to-head stuff that's really exciting. And just to remind everybody out there, not for points, this is just purely for fun, just to see which car is going to go fastest of all in the top 10 race-off. Exactly. Nels, shall we see the first 2 teams?
Let's go.
All right, over to the tech pad, and welcome back, Louise. Louise, I think you've got some information for us on the first 2 teams up. So it's the Zapatrons from Bay City Primary School against Blue Dart. Louise, what have you got for us in these 2 teams?
So I think this is going to be a really exciting race. If we look in the car stats, we can see their fastest car times from each of their regional competitions, and the teams are only out by 0.03 of a second. So this could really go either way right now. It's going to be the small details that make the difference here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just looking at the times at the bottom, Louise, so close, but yet the weights quite different, aren't they? I mean, we said yesterday, we said in the other shows, the importance of low weight. I mean, what do you think it is about the Zapatrons that's let it go so fast, even though it's carrying a bit more weight?
I would say they must have some really good aerodynamics going on to help them achieve fast times in spite of having a slightly heavier car.
Yeah, interesting to see. So, well, I think we're ready to go to the track now. I think you're going to call it. I'm just looking through the window there. Yep, the guys are ready out on track. So let's head out to see the first round, our 10th versus 9th seed. And race number 1.
Right, round 1, let's go. So we have lane 1 with Team Zapatrons and lane 2 with Team Blue Dart. And they're off. So it's Team Blue Dart taking it with a 1.925.
Wow, okay, that is a really quick time. So again, under 2 seconds, we speak
Under 2
about
seconds,
that,
really quick.
Yeah, being the barrier, being the place to try and get underneath. So really good start there. Zapatron's not out of this yet, definitely not. There's another race to go.
There's another race to go. Our judges are quickly changing lanes.
They are, we can see through the window a hive of activity on track as they bring the cars back, swap them over, and then prepare them again for race 2. Yep, we are indeed now ready. So we're going to cut back to the track and see race number 2.
So we now on race number 2 have Team Blue Dart with a 1.957.
Wow, so there it was.
Also under 2 seconds.
It
so
was
pretty good.
so close in the end. Zapatrons, you came so close. Just to pipping Blue Dart at the end. 2.006, just 6 thousandths of a second away from under the 2 second barrier. But well done to both teams. That sees Blue Dart currently looking like the fastest car. I think we're going to go now to the next 2 teams and throw over to the tech pad. I believe, Molly, you've got some information for us on the next 2 teams, start to finish and Fire Phoenix.
Yeah, so looking at these cars, we've got just a little bit of a difference in times, not too much. I think the biggest difference here is the weight. We can see there's a big difference in weight. Obviously, Fire Phoenix's car has been brought up to the minimum weight, but that's still a good 4 grams in it. But the times are still really similar, so maybe start to finish is pulling it back with their aerodynamics, maybe looking at that rear end of the car, the wing looks really good. We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, another really interesting looking matchup. Of course, as we go through the pairs, Nelson, the teams are getting, well, from the racing previously anyway, just a bit quicker and a bit quicker. So each time we're seeing maybe slightly lighter cars, maybe slightly more aerodynamic, streamlined shapes. I mean, really interesting for these two. I know we weigh cars up to the minimum and 40 grams, but this one really, start to finish, carrying quite a lot of weight there.
It's important to clarify, guys, that you guys may be seeing on the screen 38.4 grams on Fire Phoenix, but that was the weight that was logged when the car was submitted, but the car is now weighing the minimum weight 40 grams, not 38. So that was just the log time.
Absolutely, but even still, start to finish, logging a really exceptional time, 1.859 seconds, despite being 44.3 grams. So I think we can head out to track and see just how these two get on against each other in race number 1. Nels, over to you to commentate this.
Right, so lane number 1, we have start to finish, and then in lane number 2, we have Fire Phoenix. And let's go.
Ooh, there it is.
And there we go. We have Fire Phoenix taking it with a 1.882. Again, very good time.
A really good time, and I think actually that beats their time from regional finals, doesn't it?
I believe it does.
A little bit quicker again, so really good performance there from Fire Phoenix. Well, exceptional effort in race number 1. Let's see, obviously, when the guys from the track have swapped the cars over onto the second lane. I know we talked yesterday, Molly, a lot about the lane differences. I mean, do you think you've seen a difference in the lanes here on the F1 in Schools track?
Maybe looking at it again, it's the whole, each team will have their favourite lane. There might have been some more tending to like lane 1, for example, maybe lane 2 enthusiasts. We'll have to see how it goes. Obviously Fire Phoenix has set a really good time on lane 2, so maybe they prefer that one. Maybe they can improve it next time.
I love that term, lane 2 enthusiasts. Like people are waving a little lane 2 flag in the air. Go on, lane 2! Anyway, I'm going to just put my stake in the ground for lane 1. Come on, lane 1. Let's not get left out. Right, Nels, I believe we're ready to head to the track then. So here we are going to race number 2, and Nels, over to you.
Right, so they've swapped lanes, so we now have Fire Phoenix in lane 1 and start to finish in lane 2. So let's see how they go.
See the lights counting up, away they go.
They go very fast, and Fire Phoenix takes it with a 1.966.
It is
So
quick.
slightly improving the time there.
It is quick. I don't think it's quite as quick as we saw in the previous round, was it? So maybe not challenging for the top spot, but Fire Phoenix doing a really good job still under the 2 second barrier. Well, really good performance there. I mean, that is exceptional. I think just worth saying at this point that although we kind of expect maybe all the teams to go faster today, we did discuss yesterday about the fact that once the cars have run once, and I know, Louise, this has happened to you in the World Finals, maybe the cars do sometimes slow down a bit over the racing. It's not always guaranteed to go faster.
Yeah, so we saw that a lot. Even with our World Finals car, we found that we would set very quick times initially, and then the more races that we would do, we would kind of slow down a bit, and that was kind of expected. We're still trying to figure out quite what might have caused that. We suspect maybe something with our wheels or our bearings, but yeah.
Fascinating. It is fascinating. But like we say, so there's no guarantee that because you were quick in the regional finals, you're going to be quick today. But we are seeing some speedy times.
Just we can give a quick example. So if you have an important part of the car being held by just a little bit of sellotape, that tape may be just losing its grip throughout the racing. So it's part of the engineering challenge for the teams to figure out how can they improve that and maybe use some other techniques to make the car stronger to hold for more races.
Absolutely, Nelson. It's all about the quality of engineering. So just that little attention to detail, making sure that the tape is really flat, really sort of precisely applied to the car, making sure there's no little bits of loose paper from the chassis net or from the body shape underneath. All these little differences make the tiniest of split-second changes on the track. Now, just away from the racing for a second, of course, we've met Leanne and spoken about the regional coordinators that are behind really F1 in schools. Of course, the people really at the forefront of this are the inspirational teachers that lead F1 in schools in all of the schools around the UK. We caught up with one just to find out exactly how much impact F1 in schools can make.
F1 in schools is a fantastic opportunity for the children that we teach. They've been able to show real creativity, collaboration and communication across the whole project. We've actually used it as a cross-curricular project where we have got children to think about the science behind their cars, so the aerodynamics and forces involved. We've asked them to use their computing skills to be able to use things like 3D design and CAD and CAM. We've been able to look at their DT skills, so the manufacture and design of their cars, as well as things like English, writing their scripts for their presentations, and the mathematics behind it all as well. So a real great opportunity to develop some STEM skills, but also to take it across our entire curriculum and to build up a really good and solid understanding of what STEM might look like and what engineering might look like. One of the things we did as part of the project was work with a local engineering company, and they were able to come in and talk to us a little bit about what engineers do and about what some of the different job roles might entail. This has been really good to see just how well they understand the jobs, but also to give them sort of some inspiration as to the sorts of careers they might like to have when they leave school. So we've got lots of children within our year group now saying that actually they would love to be an engineer in the future, or to work in STEM in the future. This opportunity has been absolutely fantastic, not just for the team who are taking part today, but for the whole of the year group, and they've all really benefited from taking part.
Fantastic stuff, and great to hear from Richard there about the impact F1 in schools can make on his students. Nelson, I think we're going to head back to the track shortly and over to the tech pad. I think Louise is waiting to tell us about the next two teams. Although I was hearing from the track we were having a couple of technical difficulties with the sound recording. I believe that we're missing some sound from the racing. Now, there are some options here. I think we can add some sound afterwards so that the races are indeed covered. But it might involve some, shall we say, creative additions from the studio team. Are you comfortable in helping us add some sound to the races now?
I think so.
I think we can manage this between ourselves. So before we head to the track, we're just going to head quickly back to the tech screen where Louise has got some more information for us on our next pair of teams. Now, we're looking here at round 3. So we've got Windwolves against the Drifting Donuts. Louise, what can you tell us about them?
So this is another very exciting matchup. If we look at their regional times, there's only 4 thousandths of a second in it here. So very evenly matched cars in terms of race time, which is also quite interesting because they have very unique designs. They're very different from one another, especially in terms of their wings. So it's quite interesting to see how they stack up.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Nels, just looking at the pictures of the cars there, you can see Windwolves have taken, I think they've taken the CAD-CAM approach with their body design. You can tell, I think, that that's been designed in some computer software, whereas perhaps the Drifting Donuts, they've used the preset template and made that mainly by hand.
Yeah.
Really interesting approach in technique from both teams. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nels, can you call a winner?
Look at those times.
They're so close. They're really close.
I think I may go for the donut again, you know me.
You're going to go for the food. Awesome. Louise, are you going to call a winner?
Oh, it's so close, but I'm liking the look of Windwolves. I think they might pull it out.
Interesting. Windwolves for Louise. Well, there's only one way to find out, which is to head out to the track, Nelson, where we've, I believe, got some improvised sound recording equipment. So keep your ears peeled for the realistic sound of F1 in School's race cars hurtling down the track. To the track, Nelson, and over to you.
Right, so we have Windwolves in lane 1 and Drifting Donuts in lane 2. Right, we're going to go off.
Sound effects. That was just like the real thing.
Well, the sounds were amazing, and Windwolves took it as a 1.743.
Wow. Okay,
really good time again.
1.743. I think that is the quickest time we've seen today so far, and that is even that is a quick time from Drifting Donuts. 1.889.
I'm sure they were fastest because of the sound when they started on the track.
I mean, whatever that sound effect is, it really seems to have worked. I mean, that just sounds like that. Maybe the guys have got the microphones working again, because that sounded pretty legitimate to me. The guys are already on track. The cars are swapped over. They're now in the alternate lanes, so we're going to go for our final race between the Windwolves and Drifting Donuts. Nelson Vale, over to you again.
Right, so we now swap lanes. Drifting Donuts in lane 1, Windwolves in lane 2, and there we go. Amazing sounds again, and Windwolves takes it with a 1.595.
Wow. Windwolves.
Wow.
The wind is well and truly in your sails. That is an incredible time. I think, Nelson, I might be right in saying that is the quickest time we've seen overall from any team so far.
I think so. Windwolves, let's see if anyone will be able to be fastest, but that's incredible.
They've set down a real marker there. Windwolves, I have to congratulate you. We've not seen a primary class car go that fast at all, so you have just set one very, very difficult standard to match. Wow, interesting stuff. So, Nelson, that was the third pairing. We've now got just 2 pairings left, our top 4 seeds. So we're heading into what were the 4 fastest times set in regional finals. I can't call this. This is fascinating.
I guess they now know who to beat.
They know who to beat. It's the Windwolves. Molly, going to go over to you now for the next 2 teams. Molly, talk to us about our next lineup, which is Red Lightning against the Shadow Demons.
We've got some interesting matchups here. Both their weights kind of similar. Once the Shadow Demons have been brought up, there's not much in it there. And the rear wingspan is identical, but we've got some different designs in there. Maybe that'll make a difference. Front wings looking a little bit similar, but Red Lightning have got a bit larger front wing. Maybe that'll work in their favour. Honestly, I think it's going to be a close one.
Go on, call it. Who's it going to be?
Oh, I might say Red Lightning. Quite like the look of the red car.
Yeah, red car for Molly. Nels, who are you going to call?
I think it's going to be very balanced again. The car from Shadow Demons is being ballast up to 40 grams minimum, so really, really close. So let's see. Really exciting.
This is probably the closest matchup in terms of the stats that we've seen yet, so I think this is going to be a really, really close race. Well, there's only one way to find out, which is to head back to the racetrack, Nelson Vale, for our authentic sound experience and to race number 1.
Let's go. So we have Shadow Demons in lane 1 and Red Lightning in lane 2. So it's Red Lightning taking it with a 1.905. That's already excellent.
Nelson.
Both teams under the 2 seconds.
Do you see how close they were? Just 1/100th of a second separating these teams. 1.915 for Shadow Demons in lane 1, 1.905 for the Red Lightning in lane 2. This is, as we predicted, an incredibly close matchup. I think we're ready to head back out to the track. Yep, the happy dance has happened out on track, which means the guys are ready. So back out to race number 2 and the final race between Shadow Demons and Red Lightning. Nelson, let's call this as we see it.
Right, so we now have the other lanes. So Red Lightning in lane 1 and Shadow Demons in lane 2.
And the car's engines are revving. There they were, crossing the line.
So we have Shadow Demons taking it with a 1.827.
Crikey. Well, that's quick.
That's very good.
Really interesting there, how the first 2 times were almost identical to within 100th of a second. And here we've got almost 0.2 of a second between the cars. So really obvious difference there in first to second races. Couldn't call it to begin with, but it looks like Shadow Demons have just pipped it.
Yeah, it looks like it. And you know what? We are about to go to the final round, and there's one very excited team waiting for this.
This is
Outcome.
exciting. This is incredibly exciting. We've reached our top 2 seeds, the fastest 2 teams from the regional finals. But can either of them topple the Wind Wolves, who are sat at the moment on that outrageous time of 1.595 seconds? There's only one way to find out. We're going to first head to the tech screen. And Louise, what can you tell us about our top 2 seeds, please? We've got Mighty Motors and Red Thunder.
Now this is where things are getting exciting because we know these are fast cars. These cars have both set very impressive times in the past. But the question is, can they go faster? Can they set that time from Wind Wolves? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's so tough to call. I mean, we've seen some of the times now today, we've seen some of the times go quicker, some of the cars go quicker, then go slower. It seems very random. I mean, it seems like the cars are all suffering at different stages and different, different times in the competition. But obviously Mighty Motors, we've balanced it up to 40 grams.
Exactly.
We've got Red Thunder just a little bit over the minimum, actually 42.9, so suggesting that their aerodynamics are actually very efficient.
But look at those times. The previous times, very, very close.
Super close.
Really excited.
Within 9,000ths of a second of each other. Shall we find out what happens on track, Nels?
Yes.
I'm ready. The guys on track are ready. Girls, are you ready?
So ready.
Let's head out onto track. Let's see the final pairing, our second and first seeds, Red Thunder and Mighty Motors.
So Red Thunder in lane 1, Mighty Motors in lane 2. Right, so we have Red Thunder taking it with a 1.806.
It's a 1.806. It's quick. Is it quick enough at the moment, though, to beat Wind Wolves? I don't think it is.
No, they didn't improve, didn't have the chance to improve their previous time.
No.
But there's one more race.
This is it. It's all going to come down to the final race. The Wind Wolves are hanging on here thinking, have we got this? Or are they going to, at the last second, going to be beaten by one of our top shot teams from regional finals? The tension in the studio is actually quite intense. This is an exciting race. Let's head back out to track. I can see Oscar set off the smoke signal and the pigeons, which means he's really excited. The race is ready to launch. Here we go. The final race of the top 10 race-off.
The final race with Mighty Motors in lane 1 and Red Thunder in lane 2. There they are, ready to go. Lights on. And there we have it. We have Red Thunder with 1.772.
Wow.
That was
Red
very
Thunder.
close.
Red Thunder so nearly took it at the end there. 1.7 seconds. That is, I think that is the second quickest time we've seen overall. I think we all know what this means though, Nels. I mean, that was incredibly close, but shall we have a look at our final top 10 race-off leaderboard? Shall we go there and see just who has become the quickest team in the top 10 race-off? And we can see there, it is officially the Wind Wolves from Wick CE Primary School with an eye-watering time of 1.595 seconds. Nels, every single team within a tenth of a second of the 2-second barrier, and 8 teams under that 2 seconds. I mean, that is quite outstanding. Some staggering times from the teams there.
Round of applause for Wind Wolves.
I think we should do a huge round of applause for Wind Wolves. Congratulations, Wind Wolves, from everybody here. Well done to you. Absolutely remarkable achievement from Wind Wolves. Here they are on screen. Let's just put them up on screen again. Let's give another little clap round of applause for the Wind Wolves from Wick CE County Primary School. What an effort from the teams. Wow. Nels, that was exciting.
Very well done.
Very well done indeed. We said it through the regional finals and we've said it once again now at the end of our top 10 race-off. Congratulations to everybody, to the teachers out there, to the regional coordinators, and for you, the students, who've worked so hard to get yourself to the F1 in Schools regional finals in 2021. Nelson, thank you for joining us. Ladies, thank you for joining us. Molly, Louise, it's been a pleasure to have you in the studio. Everyone out there again, well done. We'll see you next time. Thanks and bye-bye.